What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I got a video for you guys today, and it's pretty much the main reason why the corporate press is absolutely failing, and they will continue to fail as long as they keep hiding the truth from everybody. They keep lying about government, lying about news, lying about politics, lying about just about everything. These people just take all the pertinent information that we need, and they just leave this crap out as if we don't need to know these things, as if we don't need to know where our tax dollars are being spent. Does it seem like I'm kind of overly animated right now? Yeah, it might seem that way because I kind of am, right? I've been covering government spending for ages now. Ever since I started this channel, that's pretty much all I cover is, new legislation, bills, appropriations, all that garbage, right? And the corporate press, they constantly leave out the nitty-gritty details of all these continuing resolutions that are absolute garbage that nobody wants. But congressmen seem to think that this is the way to go about funding the government, is just throw all this crap together and then, hey, hang on, let's add some more crap to that and spend some more tax dollars. It's all absurd, y'all. And the corporate press, they just don't tell us these things, I guess because they don't think we need to know what our tax dollars are being spent on. But I've got once again, like I said, I've got an article today that will explain exactly why the corporate press is failing and why places like this are going to explode in popularity coming up pretty soon, y'all. Check this out. This is from the AP, the go-to source for all your freaking news. Yeah, I'm a little bit pissed right now. Government funding plan collapses as Trump makes new demands. Okay, so they're talking about the continuing resolution. Once again, we hate continuing resolutions around here. Can't stand continuing resolutions because all they do is kick the freaking can down the road. Once again, increase spending. Might as well, right? And what does the corporate press do? Oh, Trump is making freaking demands. Oh, I've got some information for you guys today, y'all. By the way, do me a big favor and smash that like button for me. If you're new around here, I would greatly appreciate if you would subscribe to this channel because this is the only way to know exactly where your tax dollars are being spent, as a matter of fact. Check this out, y'all. President-elect Donald Trump abruptly rejected a bipartisan plan Wednesday to prevent a Christmas-time government shutdown, instead telling House Speaker Mike Johnson and Republicans to essentially renegotiate days before a deadline when federal funding runs out. Now, the federal funding runs out. The deadline is Friday. As a matter of fact, as we covered the other day, we was talking about this, right? They've been having, 3 months to come up with a plan to get the government funded. As a matter of fact, they've had more than that because they've had the entire year to do this. And what do? Sit on their freaking hands. Yeah, Republicans sitting on their freaking hands. I can't stand Democrats for the most part, but I can't stand Republicans for garbage like this. And now what do? They come up with this CR right before the deadline, right? Right before they're about to leave for Christmas break. I don't think they should be allowed to leave at this point because of this. This pissed me off like nothing else. Since when have you ever heard of government appropriations bills being trending on social media, of all places? Yeah, it's trending right now on social media. This is absurd. And what are they trying to do? Well, you'll see. You'll see why I'm so animated here in a few minutes. Trump's sudden decision to make new demands sent Congress spiraling as lawmakers are trying to wrap up work and head home for the holidays. It leaves House Speaker Mike Johnson scrambling to salvage a new plan days before Friday's deadline to keep government open. Republicans must get smart and tough, Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance said in a statement. The President-elect made an almost unrealistic proposal for a continuation of government funds along with a much more controversial provision to raise the nation's debt limit, something his own party routinely rejects. Right? You see how they're trying to butter you up here. Oh, Trump's evil. Oh, he wants to raise the debt limit again. Oh, Trump is bad. Yeah, I don't think so, y'all. He wants them to not pass this bill whatsoever. But House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government, said House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, and hurt the working class Americans they claim to support. Now, I'm trying to not interject because I know we want to get to the goodies, but right here, you see what these people are doing. The AP, they didn't have to add this in there. They're taking the Democrat position. Oh, they're trying to hurt working class Americans. Let me ask you guys for a question down in the comments. Answer this in the comments for me. How does a government shutdown hurt you? Like, I would really love to know how Hakeem Jeffries or anybody else that repeats this talking point seems to think that government shutting down hurts working class Americans. I don't get that one whatsoever. You break the bipartisan agreement, you own the consequences that follow, he said. Already the bill was on the verge of collapse as hard right conservatives and Trump's billionaire ally Elon Musk rejected the plan. That's all they tell you in this article about the controversy that this bill is. Oh, they reject it. I wonder why that is. Why would Elon Musk, somebody who's been put in charge of a government agency that is for efficiency of all things, the Department of Government Efficiency, want to reject a spending measure? I wonder why that is. Maybe because there's a bunch of garbage spending in this thing. It's ridiculous. Rank-and-file lawmakers decried the massive 1,500-page bill over its increased spending, which includes their first pay raises in more than a decade. A shock after one of the most unproductive, chaotic sessions in modern times. A number of Republicans were waiting for Trump to signal whether they should vote yes or no. This should not pass, Musk posted on his social media site X in the wee hours of Wednesday morning. The outcome comes as no surprise for Johnson, who, like other House Republican speakers before him, have been unable to convince his majority to go along with the routine needs of federal government operations, which they would prefer to slash. You like how they phrase that. Go along with the routine needs of government operations. Something they want to slash. No, you see how they phrase it. As if that's the argument from us. Oh, we want to cut the routine needs of the government. No, of course, this bill does include routine funding for some of the government, right? If y'all remember from articles I've covered in the past, yeah, there's the government is partially funded currently. Yeah, because they actually did the work. I'll give them credit for that. They did some of the work, right? And partially funded the government. But we've been kicking the can down the road for a very long time on these things, and they can never seem to do the work. They're more worried about raising money for the RNCC or the DNC or whatever. Like I said, the lobby interest in this country rules Congress. Right? These people, when they get elected and sworn into Congress, they immediately go into debt, $250,000. They have to raise money to be in quote-unquote good standing with Congress. This is absurd and insane at the same time. It's absurdly insane. Right? Why? Why should they have to be in good standing? So they pretty much force these people to go out and fundraise for the RNCC or the RNC and the DNC. It's absurd. So they spend most of their time fundraising. Yeah. And the ones that don't, yeah, that's the ones that are on the fringes, the hard right conservatives. These people are insane. The corporate press is just a bunch of scumbag liars. Even the addition of much needed disaster aid, some $100.4 billion in disaster aid. That's it. $100.4 billion. That's absurd. In the aftermath of Hurricanes Helene and Milton and other natural calamities. What other natural calamities that ravaged states this year, plus $10 billion in economic assistance for farmers, failed to win over the budget-slashing GOP. $10 billion stimulus for farmers. Now, let's get to why this has me so animated right now. Check this out, right? So we all know who Vivek Ramaswamy is, right? Okay, so he was a presidential nominee. And that's who I was backing for president until he dropped out of the primary and said, vote for Trump. If you want me to win, then vote for Donald Trump. So what did he do? Being the good Department of Government Efficiency head that he is, he decides, I'm going to go and read this 1,500-page bill. I wanted to read the full 1,500-plus page bill and speak with key leaders before forming an opinion. Having done that, here's my view. It's full of excess spending, special interest giveaways, and pork barrel politics. If Congress wants to get serious about government efficiency, they should vote no. Keeping the government open until March 14th will cost $430 billion by itself, but the true cost of this omnibus continuing resolution is far greater due to the new spending. Renewing the farm bill for an extra year, $130 billion, disaster relief, $100 billion, stimulus for farmers, $10 billion, the Francis Scott Key Bridge replacement, $8 billion. The proposal adds at least 65 cents of new spending for every dollar of continued discretionary spending. What is discretionary spending, you might ask? That's everything aside from Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. That's everything else. 65 cents for every dollar. Added. That's right. Added. That's insane. But that's not what's really got me pissed. The legislation will end up hurting many of the people it purports to help. Debt-fueled spending sprees may feel good today, but it's like showering cocaine on an addict. It's not compassion, it's cruelty. Farmers will see more land sold to foreign buyers when taxes inevitably rise to meet our obligations. That's right. So, once again, we're worried about interest payments in this country. Interest payments will be the largest item in our national budget. That is right. Right now, currently, our interest payments are rivaling the national defense budget, the entirety of the national defense budget, right? And we spend at least 5 times more than the very next country. It's 900 and something billion dollars a year. That's our interest payment, rivaling that number. Congress has known about this deadline since they created it in late September. There's no reason why this couldn't have gone through the standard process instead of being rushed to a vote right before congressmen want to go home for the holidays. The urgency is 100% manufactured and designed to avoid serious public debate. That's right. So let's not discuss these matters. Let's just say, hey, hurry up. We want to avoid a government shutdown, right? So we don't hurt the working class of this country. These people are more worried about getting reelected to Congress than they are anything else. And this is why some people love to throw out, oh, we need term limits. That's not going to help a damn thing, will it? No, it won't. Getting the lobby interests out of Congress is the only thing that's going to clean up Congress. Term limits might work, whatever, don't care, right? Because you might just accidentally get rid of good congressmen that way, if you think about it. Right? Because you could have a good congressman, somebody like Chip Roy, somebody like Thomas Massey, somebody like Byron Donalds, Matt Gaetz, who is no longer there, although he could be if he wanted to. Don't understand that. Anna Paulina Luna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who says some absurd crap on X, by the way. I don't agree with a lot of her politics, but she has a very, very good voting record, one of the best. These people care about their constituency. They care about the country, the United States. They put America first. They don't care about the lobby interests. They don't care about raising funds for the RNC. None of these things. None of these things. They care about America and cleaning up our government, reducing all this wasteful spending garbage that nobody wants. The bill could have easily been under 20 pages. Instead, there are dozens of unrelated policy items crammed into the 1,547 pages of this bill. There's no legitimate reason for them to be voted on as a package deal by a lame duck Congress. 72 pages worth of pandemic preparedness and response policy, renewal of the much criticized Global Engagement Center, who is responsible for censoring Americans outright. a key player in the federal censorship state, 17 different pieces of commerce legislation, paving the way for a new football stadium in Washington, D.C. That's right. That's what all this rush is about. That's what, if you remember from that corporate press article, the needs of Americans. Insane, y'all. Insane. A pay raise for congressmen and senators and making them eligible for federal employee health benefits. It's indefensible to ram these measures through at the last second without debate. We're grateful for those, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? But you know what else is crammed into this thing that really put the cherry on top for me and got me hyper animated for this afternoon? Check this out. Right here. Look at this. Look at this. Continuing resolution prevents Trump's DOJ from investigating Congress. Imagine that. Right after we just got a report from Congress saying that Liz Cheney may have violated several federal laws while sitting and chairing, co-chairing the January 6th Select Committee. Yeah. She may have broken several laws and was referred, as we covered yesterday, referred to the DOJ for criminal referral to be investigated by the DOJ. Now, this doesn't pertain to her, but there are other congressmen and women that were on that committee that are still in Congress. So, check this out, y'all. Hidden deep inside the 1,500-page CR, Congress included a provision allowing the House to quash any subpoena for emails, communications, and documents made by law enforcement, making investigation all but impossible. And it actually doesn't do that if you read the text. But as a matter of fact, let's read that text. Upon a motion made promptly by a House office or provider for a House office, a court of competent jurisdiction shall quash or modify any legal process directed to the provider for a House office if compliance with the legal process would require the disclose of House data of the House office. Right? So, what does that really mean? What that means, I actually had to call my lawyer to make sure that my lawyer friend, to make sure I interpreted that correctly. Right? Basically, what he told me is that essentially, if they get a subpoena to investigate a congressman, because a congressman has, they have the office of that congressman, so that's what they mean by office, right? If there's a subpoena to investigate that congressman or this committee or any office inside of Congress, senator, anything, right? Staffers, all of that. That means that they have a legitimate reason to fight that subpoena. That means they don't immediately have to comply with a subpoena from the FBI or the DOJ or anywhere, right? They can fight this subpoena in court, essentially. They could say, no, we don't have to turn over documents, blah, 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 blah. You get it. Now, that's not to say that the FBI won't be successful in that, but it basically means that they will have to go, they can quash the subpoena, right? Which would prompt the FBI to bring it to court to say, look, we need a judge. We need to fight. We need to know the reason why you're wanting to quash this. We have significant reasons why we want this investigation. And they better damn well have good reasons why they want to investigate. Imagine this. I wonder who put this provision in there. That really pissed me off. Now Congress is trying to protect itself because they know Donald Trump is going to come in and try to clean up some of the corrupt garbage that is in Washington, D.C. Once again, like I always say, though, leave it to Congress to uphold its corruption, if you will. They are never going to vote for term limits. That's why I don't really care about term limits to begin with. But we need somebody to get in there and get rid of the freaking lobby interests. That really aggravates the crap out of me. Those lobby interests, they just don't care about America at all. They only care about their own interests. That's it. Which doesn't make any sense to me because the people that make up the lobby are American citizens. Some of them. Most of them. Put it that way. Most of them. Some of them aren't. But most of them are. But we need to get that lobby interest out of this country, y'all. They are just corrupting Congress so much that it's almost beyond repair. like I said, if we could get rid of that lobby interest to where these companies, these corporations, these interest groups can't lobby Congress, that would be great. That would solve a lot of problems. We get rid of the fundraising element. That would solve the rest of the problems, right? The vast majority. I'm not going to say all of it, but the vast majority of the problems in Congress. Outright, just simply put, outright, that would kill most of the problems. You wouldn't have to worry about term limits. You wouldn't have to worry about much corruption. None of that stuff, right? You wouldn't have to worry about age because, yeah, if they're not doing their job, they get voted out anyway. But, you know, it's amazing to me that the corporate press don't report on stuff like this. This is bombshell evidence right there, right? Literally. Like they're voting to try to stop Trump's DOJ from investigating themselves. How absurd is that? And then you got all the wasteful spending garbage that I always talk about, which pisses me off. They're wanting to build a new football stadium in Washington. Like, what? Why? $8 billion for a bridge repair. That's absurd as well. How come it doesn't sound like the state is putting anything toward that? That's absurd. Pay raises, look, I get that one. They only get $174,000 a year. Look, I've got I've got it somewhere. I've got the tweet. Sorry, maybe I don't. I thought I had it, but I don't have it. I'll put it up here. It'll be there. I'll go back and get it. But pretty much, you know, I think it was 240,000. Let me go look. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, $243,000 a year. As a matter of fact, I'm going to screenshot that right now so I'll have it. $243,000 a freaking year. That's absurd. It's not really absurd, but, you know, what does that say? Now, you know, the corporate press, they said, they haven't had a pay raise in over a decade. That's a lot of money per year, y'all. And what do they do for that money? They only seek to enrich themselves even more. Right? I saw another timeline earlier talking about, you know, forcing Congress to stop trading on the stock market. And it's like, no. Why would we do this? A lot of people, I know what you might be thinking. They just go up there and enrich themselves. They know what bills. You're right. Look, check this out. Just, hey, if you want to make some money in the stock market, just follow their trades. That's all you got to do. Allow them to do that. And then you just follow their trades and you're good to go. Right? You don't need an investor. You don't need any advisors or anything like that. Just follow Nancy Pelosi. Right? Follow any congressman. Anyone that does a lot of trading on the stock market, just follow any and all of their trades. There you go. Allow them to do that. Right? This is a free country. Who cares if they enrich themselves in that manner? Right? They're investing their own money into the stock market. Sure, they may have some semi or call it pseudo insider trading information there, but you know, it is what it is. They have to go public with those trades. So that allows the public to follow every single one of their trades. That's why I don't care about that. That's why I don't care about term limits or none of that stuff. Because once again, you could be getting rid of very good congressmen and they might get replaced with some garbage corrupt person. You get rid of the source of the corruption and you get rid of the corruption. There is no more corruption. Term limits, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to do a damn thing at all. Simply put, you know, you get rid of the term limits, right? You might think, well, that just keeps new people in there constantly. Yeah. Well, you know what? The staffers, they don't have term limits for those staffers. And those staffers know what goes on. And, you know, basically, if we do that, if we put term limits, then the staffers will be running Congress, and it won't be the congressman. Because the staffers are just tell the next administrator or the next congressman that comes in, look, hey, this is what the last one was doing. They were making X amount of dollars doing this. We can just keep doing it. Look, this lobby was dealing with the last Congress. Look, they might want you to deal with that. It might work, it might not. But, you know, once these people start seeing green, yeah, it's hard to turn that down for most people. So it's not that. It's get rid of that money, that lobby interest. Get rid of that. You get rid of everything. But I've rambled on for long enough on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. To me, this is just outright absurd, and we need a sweep of Congress. Get rid of all of them. You know, like I say all the time, get rid of them, except for about 10. But you know what? I still like those 10. Sorry. Look, we need to keep some of them around. Thomas Massey, Chip Roy, Byron Donalds, Matt Gaetz, if he comes back, Anna Paulina Luna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, those people, the people I constantly mention. I'm sure I forgot a couple, blah, blah, blah. But we need to get rid of the rest of them. Just get them out of there. Just gone. We need new Congress. They are running this country into the freaking ground. But like I said, that's all I got for this one, y'all. Want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.